Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Code with GT. I am a software developer and I have been working in this field for over 5 years now. In this YouTube channel, we discuss programming concepts to help you become a better developer. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So in this video, we will write our first TypeScript code. So before that, we need to install TypeScript. So let's look at the steps. So first we need to download Node and npm. So for that I will Google download Node and npm. I will first download Node using nvm. NVM stands for Node Version Manager. So using nvm you can easily switch between Node.js versions. So this is helpful if you have multiple Node projects and you want to switch Node versions while running each project. First you need to install nvm. You can use nvm use this to use the particular version of Node. So I think Node is currently running on 20 is the latest version. So I will just check latest. So probably use Node version 20, latest stable version. In this part just write nvm use 20.9.0 and yeah, that should do it. Next download npm. Npm is Node package manager. You can use we will use npm to download TypeScript compiler for our project. So download npm from the official npm.js site and you can just follow these steps to download npm. I will put these two links in the description for you. Yeah, anyways, I will give this in the description. So next we need to download TypeScript. So for that we will use npm to install TypeScript and Node.js. I will open terminal for it. Yeah, so now we will install the TypeScript compiler. So for that we will run this command npm install. I will do a global installation. So npm install then TypeScript. So this is the TypeScript compiler. Now I will install another module, tsnode. So what this tsnode does is it will compile the TypeScript code and execute it for you. We will talk about this more. So I already had TypeScript installed, so it just updated the package. But for you will see a long list of operations being performed here. So the next thing, we need to download our code editor for TypeScript, which is, so I generally use Visual Studio Code, but you can use any other code editor as well. So you can download Visual Studio Code from this link. I will share this link as well in the description. Just download VS Code, and from here you can download based on your operating system. So now so you can see I already have it downloaded, and so I wanted to tell you about one good extension called Prettier in Visual Studio Code. I use it to format my code. So you can see I already have it installed, but for you the install button will be visible if you don't already have it. Now on code saving we always want to run this Prettier formatter. So for that you need to go to Visual Studio Code settings and you can search for format on save. Yeah, and make sure that this option is ticked. This format a file on save, a formatter must be available, so we downloaded Prettier for it. Yeah, so So now that everything is set up, let's write our first code. Yeah, so to verify if TypeScript compiler is installed, you can like run this command tsc help, and you should see a long list of help options available which indicates that yes, your compiler is installed. So let's write our first code. So I have already written something, like I will just use const str equals to hello world from TypeScript, and then I will console log it. I will save it. I have named it hello world.ts. ts is the extension for any TypeScript file. Now I will run it. Now you can use the terminal provided by Visual Studio Code also, or you can use a separate terminal as well. So if you are using a separate terminal, just make sure you navigate to the path and then write the code. So yeah, I will use a separate terminal for this now. So I can find the path here and copy it, and I will cd into this. Yeah, so I can use ls to check that okay, these two file names are listed here, so I am in the correct path. Now I need to run this. So first I will need to compile the TypeScript file. For that I will write tsc, which was our compiler, and then hello world.ts, and I compiled it, and as you can see a new file was created, hello world.js. So TypeScript will compile its code in a JavaScript file. I can open this and see it converted into a JavaScript code. So now I will use node to run this JavaScript file. So node hello world.js, and it printed hello world from TypeScript. So to run one single TypeScript file, I had to write two commands, but that's why I installed the second package. This ts node, so that I don't need to write two commands. I can just write type ts node hello world.ts, and it will compile the TypeScript code and execute it. So ts node actually doesn't even create the JS file in the directory. If I just delete it and I will run the same command, hello world from TypeScript, and no new file was created. Yeah, so this was our first TypeScript code. It was pretty simple. Let's write a nicer code. So for this I can make an API call, and I will print the result of that API call. So I will just create a new file called API call.ts. Now, so there's a website which provides a lot of dummy APIs. Yeah, we have this site JSON placeholder. It provides us free fake REST APIs. So you can scroll here. So under this resources, so this is a sample endpoint. It gives us a list of posts. Similarly, we have a list of users with an ID, and after the users, if I /1, it will give us result for this particular user. So yeah, I will use this endpoint to call the API and we will print the result. Yeah, so let's write our code to call the dummy API. So for this we need to create a file package.json. So for that I will open terminal. So the package.json file lists all our dependencies for the TypeScript file. I will use npm init-y and this will generate a package.json for it with this content. I can also see it here. Now since to call an API we need an external dependency, we are using Axios for it. So the dependency will be listed in this package.json. So I will do npm install Axios and it installed it. It says added 9 packages, and if we go to our package.json I can see a new dependencies field added with Axios and the version number. So and we also have a node modules folder created with the Axios files. So now we are good to write our code. So yeah, let's write it. Okay, so to use Axios, let's start writing our code. So I will first define URL. Our URL was we will get it from the website which I told about. So we have this resources and I want to see users data. It has a lot of fields. Yeah, so users /5. Yeah, so this will be my API call. This is a GET request. So yeah, under double quotes so I have an extension that converts double quotes to single quotes because I prefer it that way. So yeah, but double quotes will also work. So next Axios.get, I will call this URL and then I will wait for the response. I will console.log this response, get an underline. I'm getting an underline. I need to import Axios. So I will import Axios from Axios. Yeah, now that went away. Cross. And now that we have written the code, let's run it. For this I will use the TS node package which I had installed, which directly compiles and runs the code. So I have TS node, the file name is called API call.ts, and we get the data for the 5th object, and we have a lot of junk data printed as well. It is related to the HTTPS call. So this is the entire response object. We can choose to print different fields as well, like response.status, or our main response is under the key named, let's see, data. So yeah, I can print two things, response.status and response.data. Now let's run it again, and yeah, we have cleaned our response object. We have 200. We could also choose to print these in a good way, like this is a response JSON, it's not pretty. So yeah, let's output it in a better way. So here I have fields ID, name, username and email. Let's print these 4 fields. So I have response.data.id, console.log, response.data.name, console.log, response.data.thing email, and we had yeah, let's print these 3 for now. We'll save it and run it. So I get undefined for name, but why is that? Let's see. So basically I spelled it incorrectly. So name starts with a small letter, I used capital letter, so data wasn't able to fetch this name field. It requires it as small name. But in ideal world, the editor should point us out that there's an error in this line. So how do we solve it? We use interface for it. I will use const interface. I will name it user detail. And I will it's just interface user detail, and I will have 3 fields here: ID, which is of type number, then we have name, which is of type string, and email also, which is of type string. Now here we can have const data equals response.data, and we can just replace response.data with a simple data. Alright, but okay, so we need data as user detail. Yeah, now it gives us a red underline, like data is it should be data.name. There's an incorrect thing here, so it suggests me property name does not exist. Did you mean name? Yes, I meant name. So I will change the spelling to name and I will run it. Let's run again. I still get undefined because let's see. I did not save this, so it was not using the latest version of my code. I will save it and then run. And yeah, you can see I can see all the details. I could also make it more verbose by writing something like ID is this and name is this and email as this. Let's run this. Yep, I got everything. So actually I could make this code more modular. I could write const maybe print log, and then I can have here maybe name, email, and ID. Let's say ID, name, and email. Let's maintain the order. Yeah. Yeah, this is the syntax for writing function in JavaScript. Then I can just write print log. I will have these. Yeah, let's run this. I will save and run. So there's an error, unable to compile TypeScript. Yeah, so since TypeScript is all about types, we need to like mention the data type here. So ID is of type number, name is of type string, and email is of type string. Let's run it again, and I can see the details printed here. Now we could also have used type any here, and it would still work the same, but using any defeats the purpose of TypeScript. Like, since we are using TypeScript, it's good to mention the types. So yeah, that's for this video. You will find the code in the GitHub link, which I will mention below. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel Code with GD. Hit the like button and share this video with your friends. Happy coding. Bye bye.